My name is Carlton. We're here at BCMC 2025, and I have the pleasure of talking with Steve Shrader. He's the head of business development for Hundegger. And so, Steve, how's the show going?
It's been interesting. A lot of people have said that the quantity wasn't great, but the quality was. So
Yes.
people were actually coming by, were actually engaged, and discovery. It wasn't like just pass by. So
Absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah, we had a lot of great conversations.
not a lot of
here.
drive-bys, just really good conversations and
Yeah.
a lot of interest.
Not as many people just looking for the swag item to grab it and run. Yeah, absolutely. So I'd be curious, how long have you been coming to BCMC?
I started coming with a VCR TV, a little all built-in one, in 2003 in Phoenix to BCMC.
Okay. So you've seen quite a bit of change from then till now.
I've seen a lot of change from then till now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of difference in equipment. So we're an equipment supplier, and we're based in Bavaria, Germany.
Okay.
So everything's built over there. They started off, their core business has always been mass timber, heavy timber, joinery type, mortise and tenon type stuff. And we've been selling saws over here in the States since about 2001. And they realized real quickly what a 2x4 was, that it's not really 2x4, it's 1.5 by 3.5. There's a lot of learning curve, but they came up with a really nice machine, and now we're selling a lot for I-joist, for truss, for wall. It's working out really well.
Yeah, that's great. When it comes to a show like this, are you usually looking around for some of the new technologies and some of the new saws that are coming out, or what typically does that look like?
We're kind of known as being the tech company, the
Yes.
innovative company.
Absolutely.
Our saw is actually built to stack 4 high, so it's 6 inches high, so we can do 4 boards, and we can cut those up and angle those. It takes just as much time to cut 1 as it does 4, and but we nest and the way we batch things so that you can get better yield with the material, less waste, and be way more efficient by the way we sort, by the way we deliver. Automation used to be, hey, Steve, we need to automate. We'd like a saw.
Yeah.
And it's so much more than that now. You've got lumber retrieval systems, you've got delivery systems, and you've got to batch it and sort it in every which way, so that, because everybody builds differently, and so it's pretty customized, but we have equipment that's pretty modular and works really well. We can pretty much do anything, pretty flexible.
When you have a shop come to you and they have a, kind of a standard line set up, is there a lot of working with that shop to figure out the best way that they should be running before you sell the software or the saws?
So I've always kind of thought each builder, each component manufacturer, it's kind of like a fingerprint. They all have their own way of doing things. They've all picked up tricks. They've all picked up tricks of the trade. Sometimes they share, sometimes they don't. But flow, we've seen so many different facilities with different flows, and I think the key is not one size fits all. So many times, even with soft, it's like one size fits all. No, it's got to be able to batch and do things, and have flexibility and scalability, so that as they grow, you're growing with them, and they don't outgrow you.
And one of the things that we've thought a lot about is how do we open up so that the different ways that somebody uses it, Paragon, or the way that they have their shop set up, can be accommodated. And so we've done an open API that has the ability to tap in and pull out those different, different data and different processes so that they can make use of it. So from your perspective, what innovations are you excited about seeing in the next year or two?
It's funny, we used to always consider ourselves as independent alley, and what I didn't understand at the time is that we're agnostic alley. We don't care whose plates you use. We don't care what software you use. We want to create an accurate product with more yield and less waste, and more efficiently. Labor has always been an issue. It's going to always be an issue, and so the more automation, the more flexibility we can do. So I guess to answer your question, I think the this total turnkey package thing, customers want what they want, and if you can't deliver something flexible or scalable, it's probably because you're not agnostic. We do one thing only, that's cut material and deliver material.
Yeah, I love it. That's great. over time, there's obviously things that we want to do, and there's things that we don't want to do. And so it's nice to be able to be really good at making truss design software, but not necessarily worry about saws.
Right.
And,
or a table.
Yeah,
Or
absolutely.
making a plate.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah.
So,
Yeah, no, I think that's exciting. I think that's kind of the, as much as some people hate to say it, a lot of this is commodity. And innovation and technology isn't necessarily a commodity, although it's out there. It's just who's developing it, who's putting in the resources, who's actually generating that innovation.
Yeah.
And looking towards the future.
Yeah.
I mean, I know robots are going to be a part of the future. I just don't know if they're today, but it's cool to see some of the stuff that's happening.
Absolutely. And I think another part of it is just listening to the customer and doing what we can to, yes, innovate, but innovate in ways that solve their problem and become a win-win solution for both them and us.
That's a very good way to put it, yeah.
So I'm curious, one last rabbit trail before we wrap up with the robots and the multi-axis arms. What is your thought on those, and do you have any perspective on where that might end up?
So we have a couple timber machines that have multi-axis arms.
Okay.
They can switch tools for different types of joinery, different types of cutting that need to happen. In the conventional, truss world, the way we do things versus traditional old world fancy joinery, there's not a lot of need for different ways to cut something. I mean, you either cut it or you don't. Now, we can do some profiling and everything, but I think swapping tools and becoming multi-purpose arm versus an arm that just does one thing that's incredibly important. And so I think when you look at robots, it's like, do I just need a robot at this station, or can I have a robot that
Does
do multiple things
Yeah.
at that station?
Yeah, very cool. That's neat. Well, thank you so much for coming by and
I
talking to me.
appreciate it. Yeah,
It was,
excited to see you guys and where you're headed. That's awesome.
yeah, thank you so much.
Independent Alley.
I like that. I hadn't heard that before.
Let's keep it independent.
We're gonna have a whole section dedicated next year to this independent alley.
Right.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.